Okay, here is Teddy 2, also an unraced 3-year-old. I just did Sophia's video. She's an unraced 3-year-old. Teddy 2 is also an unraced 3-year-old. But Teddy 2 actually does have like a half a dozen published works from basically January through March this year, in which it really explains why he's unraced because they were all very unimpressive published works. And actually, Teddy 2 comes to me from a great trainer who I've gotten numerous other horses from. I have two other horses in the barn from that trainer right now, also. He's all out, who we call Bounce and Tennyson Kids. So I always really like the horses that come from this trainer. And so Ted is just a wildly cool 3-year-old. It's crazy that he's only 3 because he's huge. He's 17 hands and obviously growing. And he's just ridiculously talented. I mean, the horse is a lovely mover. He makes a beautiful shape. He's just got all the things that you would want from the makings of a really wonderful horse. Obviously, he's an unraced 3-year-old, so he's super duper green, and we're just working on the most basic things here, which are steering. And I'm trying really hard to steer, from my core and from my leg because Ted, it's both a pro and a con. Ted is so soft and round, which is amazing. We all want horses that are soft and round. He makes this beautiful shape, and it just could make you drool. It's so pretty. But because he's so soft and because the steering is still something that we are firming up, you have to be really careful that you don't do all the steering from your hands because I don't want him just creeping behind the vertical and, and not understanding that steering comes from the legs. So it's just something that I'm personally trying to be aware of as I'm riding him. And so Ted is having this ride after a bit of a break because we did his first post-track ride, which we got video of. And if you watched it, he was a very good baby 3-year-old. And I don't think I had any cantering to the left. There was no steering in the left canter whatsoever. You could get the left canter, but you could not control where the left canter was going. And so then I came back out again the next day and tried him in a different bit. I don't remember what bit I had in his mouth for the first post-track ride. But the second day, I put the Fager Baby Fulmer in his mouth, and I've used this bit on dozens of horses. And, some horses love it, some horses don't love it as much, but it's never caused me any problems. And for whatever reason, just the way this bit sat in his mouth, it rubbed his cheeks so bad. It was terrible. Of course, I didn't realize it as the ride was happening. But after the ride, of course, you get off, take off the bridle, and he has these big rub marks on his cheeks. It was horrible. Of course, I feel terrible. And then when I went back and looked at the video, you could just tell the bit just looked so weird in his mouth. It just wasn't right. So anyway, he needed like a week off to let those rubs heal because obviously I'm not going to ride him once he has rubs in his mouth. And then literally as those rubs healed, like around Tuesday or Wednesday last week, we got induced with this epic, terrible heat wave and I didn't ride all through the weekend. So he ended up having like 2 weeks off. So then yesterday we came out, I did a ride. We just walked and trotted because obviously hadn't been ridden in a while. And he was excellent. So we came back out today and took some video and we did some cantering today. And so we finally have video of the left canter for which he was very good. This shape that he's making here is just so impressive. He's just such a beautiful horse. And, obviously he needs all the buttons and all the training, but I mean, my goodness, the fact that he just naturally gives you, that shape and that movement without having any clue what he's really doing is just really so impressive. There's so much this horse could go on and do. So anyway, after all that drama with the Fager Baby Fulmer, today he is just in a regular old 5-inch full cheek snaffle with a peanut, and it sits perfectly in his mouth. He feels very happy in his mouth. He's not opening and closing. He's not pulling. He's not coming above. Everything feels very good. And it's not rubbing him. So this is the bit that I decided works the best for him. And this is, again, just such a beautiful shape he's giving me as he's marching down this long side. So, obviously Ted is very green, right? It's pretty clear that we're working on steering and all the things here. But he's a really good kid. He doesn't want to do any silliness. He's got a great head on his shoulders and he's very, very much listening and trying to do all the things. And again, just goodness, when he's straight, it is so easy for him to just go so beautifully. And he's got such a great hind leg. I know I'm biased, but I think the horse just makes a beautiful picture. Okay, so here's the right canter. He actually finds the right a little bit easier than the left for whatever reason. Really doesn't matter. Usually they find the left a little bit easier, but everybody's got a side. And obviously, since he's unraced, he's just really showing us his natural side. And very similarly to in the trot, you know, he's not quite straight there, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter because he is, in general, everything's trending in the right direction. You know, he's starting to understand steering. So I love his ears here because they keep sort of flopping back to me like he's really listening. And he's just so happy to go do the things, and it's like you just need to say, "Hey, hang on a second. I'm so glad that you're so happy to go work, but um, let me have a little bit of a say here, actually more than a little bit of say because you don't really know what you're doing." And so it's just kind of this give and take. We want this to be such a positive thing for him, and at the same time, we want him to sort of look to us for guidance to say, hey, maybe you can show me some things to make this a little bit easier. So here's the left. You can see that the balance in the right canter is like really, really epic and spot on. And to the left here, this tempo is just a little bit quick. He's just a little behind the vertical. He's just not as strong to the left, which is fine. Again, they all have a side. He doesn't have to be as strong to the left. He's an unraced 3-year-old. It's a work in progress. But he does actually here, I think like coming right up along here, sort of take a breath and really find some better balance. Yeah, I think it's right here. Yeah, right here. The tempo slows and he's just breathing more. There's just more relaxation through the body and he's listening. He's a little bit straighter. He finds a little more flexion to the left. And then this is really, really good. And I'm not holding him together here. There's plenty of pats and neck scratches and loop in the reins, so that he's just truly starting to find the balance on his own to the left, and he's steering, which is so amazing. So he's coming right along.